Hello friends, welcome back to this channel where we are talking about Programmatic Basic series, and today we will be talking about click attribution models and attribution models in general, not just the click attribution models. So what does the attribution model basically means? As the name suggests, what attributed for someone to become your customer or get your service. So we will be talking about all that. Let's get into the video right away. All right. So the topic for today is programmatic attribution because we will be focusing mainly on programmatic advertising as this is programmatic advertising basic series, and we'll talk about tracking what actually works. So this is video 9 in the series, and we'll be talking about the campaign measurement skills. The first challenge, a non-linear journey. So do you see this picture on the right side of the screen where there are multiple roads connecting to some path or the other, and they are in a like a non-linear journey. The journey is not straight path. So there are in similar way digital marketing works. You never know what actually made a customer buy your product because the journey is such non-linear. Maybe a customer who purchased your product subconsciously had this thing saved in his mind from his childhood. Like he used to see the ad on TV and always thought, I'll one day buy this product. For example, I'll give you my own example. When we were children, we used to see a Shah Rukh Khan ad promoting a particular watch brand. Okay, that was a very expensive watch at that point of time for me. And I used to think, okay, one day when I start earning, I'll definitely own this watch. So later on, much year later, when we started earning, or I started earning, uh, I searched for that watch one day, and I used to see certain advertisements, certain offers that watch company started to give me. But does that mean that the particular watch that I purchased was the we can give the attribution to the last ad that I saw? No, right? Because it's something which came from my childhood. I always used to admire that watch, and I wanted to buy it from a long, long time. So, in a similar way, in digital marketing, it's a non linear journey where you never know what actually attributed for somebody to buy that product or service. We will be talking about how this non linear journey actually gives us the right to understand where exactly those touch points are which lead us to understand the customer journey. So the example that I gave you, we cannot actually track the advertisement because it's a old brand, right? But in today's digital age, we can track down somebody's journey if we have the right attribution model set. We can track down what exactly led to a conversion or somebody becoming a customer. So let's understand that. So multiple touch points involved. A consumers interact with many ads across platform before converting. The path is rarely straight. So as I already told you, maybe you search for a Omega watch and you see the ad on Facebook, and then you go to Instagram, you see the ad there. Then you visit a website. Let's say you are reading a newspaper online and you see the same watch ad on that newspaper as well, right? So already three times you have seen this ad, and for the fourth time when you see the ad on another website that you're just scrolling, or some application or some game that you're playing, and you see the ad and you click on it, you directly are redirected to Amazon web page, or let's say just the watches landing page, and you end up buying that product. So there were multiple touch points. The ad was being shown to you, right? Like starting from Facebook to Instagram to newspaper that you read. So we cannot attribute the complete credit to the last game or the app that you used where you saw the ad and became a customer. It has multiple touch points. So that's what this particular point is talking about. The next point is last click blindness. So, traditional last click models miss the full picture, over rewarding the final step and ignoring earlier influence, right? So, if we give just the credit to the last app that you used where you saw the Omega ad and you ended up buying it, then it would be not correct, right? Because the ad was actually being shown to you from, like, the first time you saw the ad was on Facebook, then on Instagram, then on the website where you were reading some article, and then on an application where you ended up buying it. But if we give the full credit to the app itself, then it would not be right. So, last click blindness is the myth that this particular attribution model breaks if we set it right. So, last click is also an attribution model where we give the entire credit to the last click where the customer, like the last ad that the customer saw, the complete credit is given to that, which is not fair in my right mindset, because it depends upon product to product and service to service. For this particular e-commerce product, a watch, this does not make sense. So today we'll be talking about the entire journey using a Omega watch. And the journey is something like you saw the ad first time on Facebook, then on Instagram, then you were reading some article, and then you saw the ad there. And the last video ad that you saw was on a gaming app that from where you ended up buying that Omega watch. The next point is programmatic complexity. So, cross device tracking and viewability gaps make accurate credit assignment genuinely difficult. Right, because programmatic is such a huge field and shows your ad on multiple platforms, let's say connected TV, on your tablet, on your phone, even the podcast that you're hearing on Spotify. So when you have multiple touch points involved, it becomes really difficult to exactly track where this particular credit can be allotted to. Like, you saw this ad on multiple platforms, so the right tracking and tagging should be done before even jumping onto a perfect attribution model. Now, what is attribution? The basic question. Attribution is a process of assigning credit to each touch point a customer encounters on their journey to conversion. So, before becoming a customer, what were the touch points involved, right? That is what attribution is. To understand attribution, we have to identify what works. So, we will pinpoint which channels, creatives, and interactions are driving real results. And then we have to justify ROI. So, we provide the evidence needed to defend and optimize ad spend decisions. Because using these touch points only, we can justify the ROI to the end advertiser, right? That the person did, like, we cannot give the credit entirely to the last application from where we buy that Omega watch. We have to, in order to justify the ROI, we have to give equal credit to the first ad that the person saw on Facebook, then on Instagram, and then on the website where he or she was reading that article. So, in order to justify ROI, we need to provide the evidence that this person's journey started from Facebook, then to Instagram, then to a web page, and at last from where he converted was a application, a gaming application. So why programmatic needs accurate attribution? Because the audience, number one point is because the audience is fragmented. Now, user identifies split across devices and environments, making unified tracking a constant challenge. So, if you imagine it's a unified tracking, and with one tag itself, I can track every platform, that's not possible, right? So, it's a challenge. The audience is fragmented on different platforms, on different devices. So, it's a challenge for programmatic advertisers to actually understand where the customer came from, what were the exact touch points that the customer touched. Now, the second one is attribution loss. Privacy restrictions and limited cross device tracking erode the data needed for accurate measurement. Because there are so many privacy restrictions coming up, like you are already aware that people are getting aware and they do not want to share their data, right? And many of the times people do not even allow apps to track their data. So it becomes in such situations really difficult that cross device tracking is even possible. There could be chances that a person actually saw the advertisement on multiple channels before even becoming a customer, but he or she did not give permissions to that particular application to save their data, to get their data. So we just ended up getting data from one last application that we saw, the gaming app, and we give the entire credit to that gaming app. So that is also a challenge over here. Now the third one would be viewability gaps. Ad served does not always equals ad seen. An impression without attention skews your result. So of course it's not necessary that the every ad that you see you end up becoming a customer of that particular ad, right? Or that particular product service. So viewability gaps are there, and it's also important to understand that it's not necessary that every ad that gets on a particular web page is actually even seen by the customer. So it's not necessary that you're reading an article on a particular web page, or you are just playing a game on an app and then you see a ad. It's not necessary that you are actually paying attention to that. Like skip the ad to play the game again or to read your article again. So your attention is the main thing that the companies are actually. The last point in this journey would be campaign complexity, because numerous creatives, audience segments, and platforms compound measurement across every campaign. So we have already discussed this. Now there are numerous creatives lying in a programmatic campaign. There are various audience segments that you are targeting, and of course there are various platforms. There is CTV, there is a tablet, there is mobile phone, there is desktop. So the compound measurement across every campaign is actually complex to understand, because like you need exact tags and tracking templates to track these particular ads and touch points. Let's talk about post click attribution. This is like a very important topic to understand, because if you're already in programmatic, you must have heard this name somewhere. Even if you are not working on the attribution models right away, you must have seen it on your like the platform. Like there is a post click attribution model, there is a validity set to it, like how many days and how many times ad will be shown. So that's what post click attribution is. Let's discuss this in detail. So the direct action, credit flows directly to the ad that earned the click, a clear measurable signal tied to deliberate user intent. How post click attribution works? It measures users who interact with an ad or a click and subsequently convert. The full credit is assigned to that click event. For example, a user clicks a banner ad and immediately purchases a product. The banner receives 100% of the ad credit. The strength for this particular model is it directly tied to quantifiable high intent user actions, easy to track and optimize against. So this is a simplest attribution model. This is the model, let's say the journey that we were discussing, in which the person purchased a Omega watch. So if we go by the post click attribution model, if that was set on that particular Omega advertiser, then the entire credit would go to the last application from where the person ended up being a customer, like the last gaming application that the customer was playing the game on and he saw the ad and then converted into customer. So complete credit would go to that particular application. Now we will talk about post view attribution. It's the influencer. Why I'm saying that? Because impressions that shape intent even without a click. In the last model that we discussed, we like the customer ended up clicking on that particular ad and then the credit was given to the last ad. Here in post view attribution, impressions that shape intent even without a click deserve credit for conversions they quietly inspire. So let's say the model or the journey that we discussed there, the first view of the ad was seen on Facebook and then Instagram and then the newspaper website that the person was reading article on. So he gave view on multiple channels. How this particular model works? It measures users who view an ad without clicking, yet convert within a defined window afterwards. So example would be a user sees a display ad on Monday, doesn't click, but returns directly to the website on Thursday and purchases. Credit is attributed to the impression. Now, I believe that many models should go by post view attribution because it's not necessary that the person who became your customer actually became your customer by seeing the last ad. There must be some credit given to the initial ads which the person also saw, right? Now, why it matters? Because it is essential for valuing brand awareness and upper funnel activity that primes audience for conversion. Now, by using this post view attribution model that the brand awareness campaigns that you ran in starting actually worked. It's not just the conversion based ads that the person are like, if people are getting converted from just the conversion based models, then what's the point of brand awareness, right? The people see this ad at multiple channels on multiple funnel stages and then end up being a customer. So this is an important model. In our case, if the person did not see the ad on Instagram and Facebook and the website of newspaper, then he might not have ended up buying the product from the app also. Now, beyond last click, a more holistic view. So the first touch point where a first click gives full credit to the ad that sparked initial awareness. These are the multiple attribution models. They are majorly used, like the namings that I have allotted are majorly used in DV360, but they are almost similar in Amazon and Trade Desk also. So the first touch point model, time decay model, position based model, and data driven model. These are four majorly used DV360 attribution models that you need to understand. This is an important slide. If you haven't worked on attribution models yet, this will give you a holistic view of how these attribution models and which model should you opt for. The first model is first touchpoint model. Here the full credit goes to the initial sparking awareness ad. So the first ad that is seen by the customer, the full credit goes to that particular ad, no matter if the customer is purchasing later on by seeing fourth or fifth ad which might have more awareness. So I do not believe completely in this model as well. But for some people who are just running awareness campaigns, and also as per your marketing strategy, you need to give these attribution models. So you need to discuss this with your client first. You cannot blindly agree on whatever I am saying because these are models. Each model is also necessary for some point or the other. Like your marketing strategy might be different, your advertisers marketing strategy might be different. So I'm just giving you a holistic view. It completely depends upon product to product and service to service which one should you opt for. So the first touchpoint model is where the first click gives full credit to the ad that sparked initial awareness. Second is time decay model. It distributes more credit to touch points closer to the moment of conversion, right? So if we go in our own journey of Omega ad, we would have selected time decay model, then it would have given credit to the TOI article because it's near to the point of conversion. So it's time decay model. Third is position based model. It assigns 40% to the first, 40% to the last, and 20% across middle. So this is self-explanatory that in a position-based model, credit is divided equally amongst the journey or the touch points that the customer has been seen. In our own journey, if we would have selected position-based model, then the 40% credit would have gone to Facebook and Instagram, 20% been given to the article that the person read, the website that the person visited on which he was reading the article and saw the Omega ad, and the rest of 20% would have been given to the last application from where he became the customer or ended up buying the Omega watch. So that's the position based model. It gives attribute equally. Now, what is data driven model? This is the last model, and many people use this data driven model. So it's a algorithmic credit based on actual contribution of each interaction. It's best for advanced level optimization. So many people have such tracking models in place where they can see the ad, like the user behavior on the website, right? They can see on the first time the person saw the ad, how many times, how much seconds did he spend, ended up seeing our ad, how viewable our ad was, right? Was it 70% viewable, like the 70% of ad was visible on the screen that the person saw this ad? If it was a CTV, how many seconds did the person see this ad for? So it's a very important, and I think it's it's a model. If you have advanced level tracking set, you should always go by data driven model, because it gives credit actually to the ad which deserves the most, right? Because algorithm decides on basis of user behavior that what level of contribution each interaction had. It's best for advanced level optimization as well. You can allot different users on different audience list later on using these tracking models. So data driven attribution is the gold standard. It uses your campaign's own data to calculate each touchpoint's true contribution, removing guesswork entirely. Now, believe it or not, somewhere in position based, time decay, and first touchpoint, there is some sort of guesswork involved. But if we go by data driven models, then it mostly gives you data as per the uh, the data that we have. What are the tools required for tracking success? Now, reliable measurement depends on the right stack working in concert. These three tools form the backbone of any robust attribution setup, right? The first one is Google Analytics. I'll make an entire playlist on Google Analytics. It's very important for you to understand Google Analytics, even if you are in paid advertising, programmatic advertising, whatever you are working on. Google Analytics give you the actual analysis and the analytics being run on the paid ads, even on programmatic. So it offers multiple attribution models, including data driven and last click across paid and organic channels. Second is tag management system. Tools like Google Tag Manager centralize and streamline the deployment of tracking pixel and tags, right? It's the basics. Like tag management is a very simple tool, so I'll try to make the video on it as soon as possible, and it's somewhere connected with Google Analytics as well, so you'll find a video in the Google Analytics playlist as well. So you need to understand the Google Tag Manager and how to place these tags, what these tags should be actually tracking, very important. Third is Universal Tracking Manager parameters. So URL tags that identify the exact source, medium, and campaign driving each visit and conversion. So what these UTM parameters do is, so each campaign is having some universal tags attached to it. They are pasted along with other tags. So these universal tags give you data of which campaign is driving this result, right? So you need to understand UTM parameters, and I'm soon gonna make a video on these three important topics because they are tools for tracking success. Without these tools, you cannot understand what you are tracking. Many of the times when you are starting to work on programmatic channels, you are already given these tags provided in your campaigns. But if you are setting it up from the basic, when you are starting up, how to set up these tags and why these tags are important, it's very important. Because initially in my job life, when I started out working with CTS, I used to work on Google Tag Manager team, and I understood that even the basic customers need to understand their, like, a holistic and a longer view approach on what all they want tracking for. Even if you are a brand awareness campaign, you should have tags placed for conversions, because you never know which customer ends up buying your product, even if you are doing a brand awareness campaign, right? So these tags are very important for you to understand. You should set them up. The first thing should be the tagging. Without even starting the campaign, the tags should be set first. Mapping the true customer journey. Every conversion is a result of many interactions. Accurate attribution connects the dots across channels, devices, and movements, revealing the full story behind every sale. That's what we have been discussing even in our Omega Watch example. So the first, we have already discussed what are the different levels of funnels. If you haven't seen that video, I'll attach it in the description, where we have discussed TOFU, MOFU, BOFU, and the different funnel stages, where in which the first one is awareness, where display and video impressions spark initial interest. Then the customer goes to the consideration stage, where retargeting happens, search ads nurture intent, and the final stage is conversion or decision, which is the final touch point closing the conversion. Important for you, I've already made a video on this exact slide, an entire video dedicated to different funnel stages, you need to watch that before watching this video. Now the payoff: smarter spend, better results. With using these collect attribution models, a confident budget allocation can be done, because accurate attribution tells you exactly where to invest and where to pull back your money, with data to back every decision. Now continuous optimization: with using the correct attribution models, you can do the correct optimizations. Ongoing measurement enables iterative improvements across creatives, channels, and audience segments. Measurable, profitable outcomes unlock the true impact of your ad spend and demonstrate real, defensible value to every stakeholder. So this was today's video. Thank you so much for watching it till the end. Soon, like, this was the last video of Programmatic Basics. We'll move to the intermediate and advanced level now. There will be a separate playlist for that. And along with that, an intermediate level, I'll tell you the optimization techniques, because thank you so much for giving me the rewards and responses on LinkedIn as well, because I've seen many people messaging me that we need to understand how optimization works. We are already working in programmatic, and I need to understand the optimization thing. So I was waiting to end the beginner playlist first, because optimizations can be given in the intermediate level, of course. So we are done with the setup thing now, and we'll move to the intermediate level, where we'll talk about tags, optimization, and such stuff, and different optimizations, reporting, etc. And then we'll move to the advanced level. Alongside, I am also making certain videos where I'm discussing with professionals who are already working in the industry. If you are one of them, and if you want to feature on this channel, if you want others to gain some insights from your career, maybe you might be help to them, right? So you can connect with me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is in the description itself, and we'll see what we can do. Thank you so much for watching it till the end. Have a great day ahead. Bye bye.